Hi, my name is Noel Davis with World Composting, and today we're going to take a look at our urban worm bag that has the African Nightcrawlers in it. Now, it's been 21 days since our last update. We added a whole bunch of coco coir to it, and we were trying to get this bin moist again to get these worms really going. I know that I've also mentioned about maybe putting a piece of plastic in the top. I don't have any this time, but we are going to add some of this right here. This is wheatgrass that I grew. I already harvested it to actually make juice for myself, and this is what grew up afterwards, and we're going to go ahead and flip this over and add it to the bins. I've seen this on a couple other channels. I know that it works really well according to them, and I think it will. So we're going to hopefully add this to the system. We're going to hopefully get these worms going, and that way we can really start loading them up with cardboard, because that's what I really need to go through with these worms, is I need them to just chew through tons of cardboard that I have in my basement right now. So with that, let's take a look at the system, see how many worms we have, see how they're doing, and hopefully, I'll add the wheatgrass, but hopefully get some more moisture in the system, get these worms going. As the temperatures heat up here, the system should be doing a lot better than it was this winter. So with that, let's go take a look at our system. All right, here we are at the urban worm bag. As I said, it's been 21 days since my last update on this system. Now let's see how these worms are doing. So we did add that, that's right, I forgot about this. We added this piece right here. This has some plastic sheen to it, it feels like. So I'm hoping that this is kind of keeping that moisture down a little bit lower. And put that off to the side. And let me grab my gloves and let's go ahead and reach in here and see how things are doing. So first off, again, it's very dried out, even though it's only been 21 days compared to the 50 days we were letting this go last time. We can still see in this, whoa, wow, it really collapsed in the middle here. You can still see that this stuff is still has some moisture to it, which is good. Let's just see what's happening in the center here. And from what I remember, I think I buried a compost roll in here as well. It looks like that's gone, but we do have some worms here. Let me zoom in just a little bit more. There we go. So we've got some compost worms in here, or there are reds, or I'm sorry, these aren't reds, these are African Nightcrawlers. They do look very, very dry, and it looks like this is starting to dry out a little bit, even in the center here. Let's just dig down a little bit more. We're going to add plenty of water in here, but you can see that this is starting to even dry up down here. So this definitely needs some moisture in here. You can see we do have some babies in here, but these are definitely not the healthiest worms. As I'm looking at this, they're going to need. I'm glad I'm checking on this early and didn't wait that long. Again, we've got this beet in here that went bad. Looks like one of them somehow broke through the surface and is crawling in there. But these things are taking a while to break down, a lot longer than I thought it would take. Cloth almost gone. I can't remember what this cloth was. It was just something that I had. Looks like there was a string running through it. I didn't think there was anything else running through there, but I guess there was a plastic string. So, but that'll break down eventually too. Well, not the plastic, but all the string will. All the cloth that's attached to that plastic will. Let's just dig down here a little bit further here into the center section. And here we go. Now we can see some of these larger worms down here. But they're going way down in here to try to find that moisture because this is so dry. So as you can see, this entire system is just very, very dry. Not a lot of moisture in here. We're going to add a ton of moisture to this system, which is one of the plans here. So I'm not going to add any food as far as the, like I've added before. You can see this shirt. This is a white shirt right here, and this does also have some stitching in it, but this is also coming apart as they start to break that down. What we're going to do is we're going to add, first off, we're going to add a whole bunch of moisture here to this surface area. And we did, as I said, I did have a compost roll or a food roll in here, I think, that I added last time, and that is gone. But we're going to add a ton of water here first. And if it comes out the bottom, I do have a pan underneath, just in case, but I'm going to just take my bucket here, my BTI bucket. I'm just going to dump water right in here. We're just going to see if we can get that going a little bit. This coco coir should absorb a ton of that water. You can see it's already starting to get some moisture in there. So we're going to just sort of mix this up. As I said, we're going to add a lot of water this time because I really want to get this going. And I think moisture is the key for these worms. And I don't have my sprayer really ready to go. But we're going to add a whole bunch of water to this. So, feels nice and moist. I'm getting a whole bunch of moisture in here. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit more coco coir in here. This stuff is a little bit dry, but again, we're going to just continue to add more moisture to this system. This stuff can hold a lot of moisture too, which is what I love about it. I had it pre-moistened before, but it was a day or two ago, and if any of the water runs out the bottom, I can put it right back in the top. I don't think we're going to have that issue. In fact, if I dig down here and mix this all up, get this coco coir all through the system here, really try to get this moisture in here. I normally don't do this with my systems, but I really feel like this one's just really needs this help. It's just drying out way too quick. This should not be drying out in 21 days. Now, next thing we're going to do here, and this is wet, is we've got our wheatgrass right here. And this is wet and this is moldy on it now. And first off, there's some water actually in the bottom here, but you can see this root structure here. Let me just go ahead and pour a little bit of water that's left in the bottom there. But you can see that root structure on there on this bottom section. I mean, look at this. So that wheatgrass grows this nice thick mat. Got nice, you can see the water pressing up there as I press on it. So it's got a lot of moisture in here. This is going to add a lot of food as well, but we're going to dump even some more water on this. As I said, we can add a lot of water to this. Coco coir is great, and this was grown in coco coir. And you can see it's just so slowly soaking in there. I did have this sitting in water, so it's going to not hold nearly as much. But that's why there's mold. Actually, let me just see if we can see. See this white mold here? White-green mold, sort of, that's forming on here. That's because of the fact that it was too moist and there was too much water in here. But this way, you try to get these worms a little bit more moisture in the system that way. And then we're going to go ahead and add our pizza box back on top. I'm going to see if we can flatten this out a little bit. Just over top of that. And then we are going to add, back on top, we will add our little plastic piece right here. So I'm going to push this down just a little bit, kind of get everything sort of mushed together. And we'll try to check on this a little bit more frequently. As I said, I really need to get this going. I've got a pile of cardboard in my basement, and this really needs to get moving because these worms are supposed to be voracious when it comes to cardboard, and I have seen them do it. So I just need them to get moving in here, and I think moisture is the key right now. I think they just need that moisture so they can reproduce. So with that, thank you for watching. If you have any questions or comments or anything like that, please leave them down below and let me know. Thank you for watching.